Welcome to In This Season podcast, where we unpack the most empowering conversations, have exclusive and inspirational interviews, and host special events. Join Tammy, some call her Butterfly, and explore life's purpose by learning how to embrace each season of your life with confidence, strength, and purpose. Whether you're blooming in the spring, or shining in the summer, or embracing change in the fall, or gracefully hibernating in the winter, get ready to be inspired. Join us right here on this season of In This Season podcast with your host, The Butterfly. It's time, no matter what season it is.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, B.
Good morning, Mama. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you? You gonna do it with me this morning? We're gonna start out right. Uh-oh, y'all. He is up and going. Okay, let's get this in sync. There we go.
You just be doing a whole lot of movement. I'm doing good, baby. How you doing? You be starting off like this? There you go.
It is the old school. Y'all remember that? Huh? Come on in, y'all. Happy Monday. We're going to do it before Miss Brenda does. So how's it going, B? How's it going?
It's going good. I'm up, alive, well. Everything's good in life. No complaints here. Even if I complained, it wouldn't help. So ain't nothing to complain about. How about you? How are you doing?
Same here. Same here.
You got a lot going today?
Well, yeah. Well, not a lot. I got a training class all week that I'll be doing. So I gotta and next week. So I'll be out this week and next week hitting it. Cool. So every day. So that's a little different, just being out in there, stuck in one place.
Mm-hmm.
So, I haven't did that in a while. So
are you looking forward to that or is that more? Yeah.
I am. I'm telling you, I'm kind of learning to just look forward to it all.
Right.
Like
whatever's there, right?
With Saturday, just embrace it. God, what is this about? What is today? What can I do? Not just for me, but for the people that I encounter as well. So I'm good. Let's see who's in with us this morning. Hope y'all fed those ducks. Still can't, and I've turned off my computer, restarted my computer as well. So my Facebook names are not showing up. So thank y'all giving the names. Monique says good morning from Monique. So she says it. Thank you, because we don't know who you are. Good morning, Butterfly Nephew. We know who that is. And family, that's Auntie Richetta, because we know what she says. And now we're going to know you, Monique. Great everything, everyone. Happy Monday. We know that's Miss Brenda. So y'all names are still showing up. Good to see you. Welcome. Happy Monday. Let's get ready to do it, Brandon.
Well, let's do it. Welcome everybody to the In the Season podcast, where we are going through the book Daily Motivations for African American Success by Dennis Kimbro. Please get that book. This is how it looks. There's Mr. Kimbro, the author. Please support this African American author as we've been going 280 some odd days and reading this book every single day at 7 a.m. And you all have been joining us. So thank you for allowing us to be a part of your morning routine and for joining us. So a little bit more about this book, Daily Motivations for African American Success, will help you focus on the thoughts, attitudes, and deeds that will lead to the achievement of your true goals. In 365 powerful motivations, one for each day of the year, Dennis Kimbro, author of the popular Think and Grow Rich, A Black Choice, leads us to discover how to use the present moment and our own gifts to transcend labels, cultivate a positive attitude, become wise enough to know when to say yes and when to say no, and to look inward for answers to life's challenges. Each motivation begins with words of wisdom from such distinguished and celebrated African Americans as Malcolm X, Marion Wright Elderman, Whoopi Goldberg, Charlene Hunter Galt, Bill Cosby, Carl Rowan, Mother Hale, Reverend Leon Sullivan, and hundreds of others. This treasure trove of practical inspiration will give you fresh encouragement every day of the year. What it teaches will last you a lifetime. So welcome everybody on this November 11th, this Monday morning. Hope everybody's feeling good. You got your coffee, got your some water first and foremost, hydrated. and you're ready to start the day off right. If you are here, then you're ready to start this day off right. So again, thank you for joining us, and let's jump right into it. Jump into the show.
It's
Yeah.
Veterans Day, right?
Yeah, I think so. All veterans out there, and shout out to y'all. Today is a day celebrating y'all, so make sure you do something for yourself, and make sure y'all, if you know a veteran, hit them up. Some like to hear that, some don't. Some say, "Don't tell me Happy Veterans Day." Some say, "Thank you, I appreciate it." But in either case, it's a day to celebrate those people that have been in the military. So shout out to all the veterans today.
All right.
But all right, let's jump right into it. Today is November 11th, and our title is "Put on a Happy Face!" Exclamation mark. Put on a happy face. And Desmond Tutu, the South African activist and Anglican Archbishop, Desmond Tutu said, "Kindness is the language that the deaf can hear and the dumb can understand." It's a language that the deaf can hear and the dumb can understand. Plug up right there. Years ago, there lived a cruel and hard-hearted king. After fending off several attempts on his life, he suddenly realized how miserable he was and decided to change. He called his royal wizard and asked for help. The wizard pondered for a moment and told the king, "I can help you, but you must carry out my instructions. Wait 3 days and I'll tell you what I want you to do." 3 days later, the wizard gave the king a mask. The mask was a replica of the king's face, with one exception. Instead of his usual frown and scowling lines in the mask, the mask was smiling. "I can't wear that," argued the king. "It's not my face." "If you want my help," reiterated the wizard, "you must wear the mask at all times." The king complied, and his world began to change. People began to enjoy his company. His subjects began to treat him with respect. His country began to enjoy the peace it had never known. All was well, except within the heart of the king. Although he was overjoyed with the changes in his life, he grew uneasy. He wrestled with the discomfort and again summoned the wizard. "I am grateful for the peace within my kingdom, but I cannot deceive my people any longer," he said. "I must remove the mask." "As you wish," replied the wizard. The king stood in front of a mirror and slowly removed the mask that had changed his life. Drawing forth all his courage, he opened his eyes to look at his scowling face. But he was shocked. Instead of his unpleasant demeanor, he saw a beautiful and joyous visage, even more radiant than the one he had removed. Through his inner transformation, the king's face had become a portrait of joy and kindness. To wear a, quote, magic mask of loving words and deeds is to act in accord with your real nature. And our affirmation for today is, today I will multiply the emotion of kindness by dividing it. Today I will multiply the emotion of kindness by dividing it. Interesting, Mom. That one's for you. What you got? What you got for me on that one? I can see you thinking over there and the wheels turning, the light bulbs going on and off and on and off. What you got?
How he made a decision, right? It says, after several attempts on his life, he suddenly realized how miserable he was and he decided to change, right? So he made a decision to change, but almost instantly he rejected the possibility of change or how to make it happen, right? And so I think that speaks for many of us, because changing is to me a dying to a self that you've come to know. In death, any kind of death, for people who are, I'll use, in real nature of themselves, in the real nature, act in one accord or living in one accord with their real nature. Death, death hits us, different ways. So the change, and then at the bottom here, later in the story, it says, I can't do this anymore. I can't deceive the people. That to me in itself was kind of a change, an example or confirmation of some sort of change within him, because he started to then worry about the people, being deceiving people. And I don't think that was a part of him. So it's a representation of what change does for us. Like we become, if you are going to transform, to be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, to decide that you're going to be happy, and are kind, and see what that does for people, right? Reminds me of the lady Saturday. I've thought about her often. I don't know her story, but she felt heavy. She felt heavy. So her response, she's probably living subconsciously, right? And her that is directing her emotions, her feelings, her thoughts. And it kind of sends off this standoffish kind of energy and aroma. But y'all, I decided, because I look at her and I was her, and I probably will be again someday. You know, I won't get it right every time. Matter of fact, I didn't get it right a few weeks ago when I told you, hey, I had to go back and say, I'm sorry. You've got the end of some stuff that I did not resolve within me, right? So decide, be intentional about putting on your happy face, because there's more things to be happy about than there are to be sad about, right? And if you will look at people, as we say, you are my other me. Any day I might need the grace that I so desire to give people. Any day I could need it myself, because I don't always get up and show up 100 or feel 100, right? I told y'all last week I knew I had a selfish moment, but I realized it. Why? Because there's a newness about me now that's fighting this oldness, and it's winning. Doesn't mean they don't fight, but that newness, that decision to put on that happy face, in spite of, because y'all, all day, every day, there's always something that I want to say bitch about. But why? Why? What will it do? What will it do for me to react rather than to respond based on what I'm learning here, what I've learned since June 2011 and starting to do this, since that walk that I've mentioned time and time again on Herbert Air Force Base, where I just had to, the walls were closing in on me and I had to get out. And I really feel like that day with God by way of the wind started to change my life. It was a reminder, right? I can't see this wind. I can't catch it. I can see what it moves. This wind can lift trees, if it gets strong enough, if we get a good one, and it could blow my hair, but I still couldn't catch it, right? So God, when I talk about my coffee, making sure that I have God in my cup so that my cup and my salsa can run it over. God in me. Because outside of that, y'all, I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to send it over to you, Brandon. And this is this, and get this. People say, oh, that's, that I'll use myself. She's a good person, good heart, da 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 da. In spite of that, y'all, I had some ways about me that was not good, right? And those are the things that I had to deal with so that I could not only just be happy, but be grateful, thankful for life today. Like, do I want to get up and get out of here the entire week? No. But I'm thankful. Guess what? I got a car. First of all, I got life, right? I got a car. I can get out there and go in, right? Got to stop and get some gas. Thought about that last night. That alone usually just tilt me over, right? Just got to leave a little bit early so you can go get the gas. Didn't want to stop Saturday night coming home. So, hey, got to do what I got to do, right? And I got to put on my happy face. Why? Because I'm happy. Because I'm happy, y'all. I'm blessed. I'm thankful. I'm happy. I'm at peace. I have joy in the midst of it all. Because don't get it twisted. I got some problems. But my good outweigh my bad any day, any hour of the day. And so I will put on my happy face. And for that reason, I will smile. I will rejoice and be glad in it and every day. So let's see. Did we get any more people come in? Okay, we're good there. All right, Brandon, over to you.
Thanks, Mom, for those insights. This story and this passage remind me of the Joe Dispenza book, author Joe Dispenza, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself.
Brandon, I've been listening to that.
Have you? The audiobook?
Yes.
What encouraged you to do that? And where are you going to get it from? Where you
YouTube.
You doing it on YouTube? Okay.
YouTube. Yeah. Sella. You
Yeah.
got the book for Sella, and then I kind of looked at it a bit. And I'm a great fan. I've been following him for a long time. I received a lot from his teachings. So I'm enjoying it. I do want the book. I'm a like I can listen, but I also have to read it just for me. So, but it's interesting how I won't get into that, but it's interesting. So because you're going to talk about it, but it's interesting.
Yeah. So I want to read one of the premises from it, and then I will get a little bit more into this book. But an excerpt from the book says that psychologists tell us that by the time we're in our mid-30s, our identity, our personality will be completely formed. This means that for those of us over 35, which I just broke that barrier, we have memorized a select set of behaviors,
Yes.
attitudes, beliefs, emotional reactions, habits, skills, associative memories, conditioned responses, and perceptions that are now subconsciously programmed within us. And those programs are running us because the body has become the mind. I'll say that again, the body has become the mind. This means that we will think the same thoughts, feel the same feelings, react in identical ways, and behave in the same manner, believe the same dogmas, and perceive reality in the same ways. About 95% of who we are by midlife is a series of subconscious programs that have become automatic, like driving a car, brushing our teeth, overreacting when we're stressed, or worrying about our future, judging our friends, complaining about our lives, blaming our parents, or not believing in ourselves and insisting on being chronically unhappy, just to name a few. And so when I read the story of this king who had attempts made at his life, which was, I think, which I think was a reckoning, right? Like, you'll be in situations where all you can do is change. You either adapt or you die. You either, and death can be metaphorical. You can conform in such a way to where you might as well be dead. You're in the groupthink. You're no different from any other person, any other human with their eyes closed in or their eyes shut in their ears with their fingers inside of it, right? Deaf, dumb, and blind, and unable to change. But when a day of reckoning happens, there's something that sparks inside of you that says, I can't do this anymore. I want to get out of this. I want to be different. And so the title of Joe Dispenza's book, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself, is when you are breaking this subconscious program, right? It says that like your mind can be a memory of the past, or you have the power to change it to a map for the future. So your mind can be a memory of the past, or with a subconscious change, a map for the future. The brain actually does not know the difference when you're imagining that you're playing the piano versus when you're actually playing the piano. And they've studied this. They've gotten people to sit down and play the piano, and they studied their waves, their brain waves. Then they asked them to do it again another day, and they just imagine there's no piano in front of them. They're just imagining that they're doing it. And the signals from the brain were the exact same. So what does that tell us, right? It tells us that we exist mostly in our mind. That's where we have formed our perceptions of ourselves. Now, what begins to happen is that our emotions, which are largely held within our body, right? Anger, you feel anger in your stomach, right? Sorrow, you can feel that in your heart, right? That lump in your throat that you get before you start to cry sometimes. It's not with every cry, it's only with every sadness, it's only with certain types. You guys, y'all remember that? The feeling of your throat getting sore before you would weep? Well, the body saves these emotions and expresses these emotions. And what we start to do is, like this passage said, our body becomes the mind. So we act based on our feelings, right? We act and think based on the emotion that we have, and that becomes our reality in a sense. So can you accept the notion that once you change your internal state, you don't need the external world to provide you with a reason to feel joy, gratitude, appreciation, or any other elevated emotion? You rather can just go into your own self, your own meditations, your own subconscious mind, and create the emotion of success, create the emotion of joy. You have that power. Oftentimes we look out as if we need external manifestations of ourselves, and sometimes those things are good. It can be useful, it can be a tool, but it is not absolutely necessary. So in the case of the king, he received a mask to wear when that's how he perceived himself. He changed the way that he saw himself, and that in turn changed the way that he was. Because you can wear a mask that has a smile, but if you don't see yourself in that way, your actions will still be a frown. Your demeanor will still be heavy. It will still be antagonistic. It'll still be base level, right? But I think a major difference is the way he saw himself in the mirror.
There you go, Brent.
And I think that mirror is a metaphor for how we see ourselves subconsciously. I think the mirror is a metaphor for our subconscious mind. So when he started to see himself with a smile, he started to act happy. And happiness and joy are just as contagious as a yawn. You ain't even got to be sleepy, but somebody around you start yawning, and all of a sudden, so are you.
Brandon, remember the gosh, I forgot that pastor's name again. Remember we took you guys to the church, the healing center, and everybody, when the laughing effect.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
just the opposite, happiness. If you would allow it, Brandon, I think you're onto something. When you were saying subconscious mind earlier on, when you just started talking about this, I was actually typing it again from yesterday because we talked about this yesterday, that subconscious mind. You guys, Brandon is on when he says, so basically, let me read it from yesterday. I did read it yesterday and I put it out there. The subconscious mind goes beyond learning new skills. It's involved in information processing and affects everything we think, say, and do. It stores our beliefs and values, determines our memories, and monitors the information all around us, deciding what to send to the conscious mind and what to store for later. So it decides what to send, right? So sometimes that's why before you have a moment to even think about it, or you've already reacted and did a thing that you perhaps did not want to do because your subconscious mind has memorized how you feel and tells you that, what you're going to do and tells you that. And so you do it. I got to a part in that book where it was saying, like, it was giving examples of the mind where the body will tell you what to do because it has memorized it. And it gave little examples like a phone number or something like that, that you may have forgotten, but then all of a sudden, just because it's stored in there, just like your habits. And so most of us react because we're living subconscious beneath the nature that Brandon talks about, that read about in this passage. It says to wear a magic mask of loving words and deeds is to act in accord with your real nature.
Right.
Our real nature is loving, kind. And that's why we have to wait when things happen. Y'all see how we show up? Because we need something tangible to make us go and be kind to people, right? Well, let's not wait until something happens. Let's just decide to be happy and put on our happy face and love people. And love will come back to us.
Good point, Mom.
Just
and I wanted to share this with you too. Oh, you go ahead. You
I was going to say, and I'll be real quick. I remember we were out eating one day. I can't remember who it was. I believe it was Applebee's over in Germantown. And this waitress, y'all, her spirit was so dang on heavy. And so I just asked her, I said, "Are you okay? Are you okay? What's going on?" And she sat there and she was going through a lot. And so sometimes people just don't have it in them. And that's why we here, we who are growing, we are responsible. We are responsible to ask that question, because who knows what they're going home to. Like the little headbanger in the school, right? Who knows where that young kid is today, right? But hopefully because somebody saw, hey, there's a commonality here. There's something that triggers this. You're getting groceries. Ask the people that's checking out your groceries, "Hey, how's it been in here today?" You will be surprised. Some of the ones that won't even speak when you come up. "Hey, how you doing? Has it been busy in here today? What time you get off?" We are missing conversation, which means we're missing connection. And we're living on autopilot from our mess. You're living from the past. Brandon, that's all I have.
No problem. And I'm gonna get back to something that you said. The latest research supports the notion that we have a natural ability to change the brain and body by thought alone. So, as a man thinketh,
so he is.
So this isn't new age knowledge, guys. This is ancient. So that it looks biologically right? I'll say that again. The latest research supports the notion that we have the natural ability to change the brain and the body by thought alone, so that it looks biologically like some future event has already happened. Because you can make thought more real than anything else. Perception is reality. You can change who you are from brain cell to gene, given the right understanding. They used to think that your genes, your genetics, were concrete, but they found there's a study, something called epigenetics, which speaks to the point that certain genes can be turned on or turned off based on environmental factors and or your state of mind and state of being. So when, for example, think of it this way. If the input remains the same, the output has to remain the same.
Yes.
How then can you ever create anything new? So reason this, when you think from your past memories, you can only create, when you think from your past memories, you can only create past experiences. Because you're thinking from your past memories. As all of the knowns in your life cause your brain to think and feel in a familiar way, thus creating knowable outcomes. You continually reaffirm your life as you know it. And since your brain is equal to your environment, then each morning your senses plug you into the same reality and initiate the same stream of consciousness that you had every day before. You guys understand that?
So you just keep reliving. You keep going to the same place every day, the same way every day. No matter the detours, no matter when God says, no, 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 right? You go, 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 go this way, right? So you keep doing the same thing. Autopilot, that's what I meant. You're on cruise control, autopilot, you are doing nothing new in life. Nothing. Nothing.
Let me read this one thing too, and then we can head on out of here. You open your eyes, and you know the person lying next to you is your spouse. Because of your past experiences together, you hear barking outside your door, and you know it's your dog wanting to go out. There's a pain in your back, and you remember it's the same pain you felt yesterday. You associate your outer familiar world with who you think you are. By remembering yourself in this dimension, this particular time and space, our routines plugging into our past self, what do most of us do each morning after we've been plugged into our reality by these sensory reminders of who we are, where we are, and so forth? Well, we remain plugged into this past self by following a highly routine, unconscious set of automatic behaviors. For example, you probably wake up on the same side of the bed, slip into your robe the same way as always, look into the mirror to remember who you are, and shower following an automatic routine. Then you groom yourself to look like everyone expects you to look and brush your teeth in your usual memorized fashion. You drink coffee out of the same mug and eat your customary dish, right? It's the same thing. So in order to be different, you have to break the habits of being yourself. If you want a different outcome, you have to do something different. And sometimes our personality or the way we see ourselves has become so concrete. They say you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Sometimes it's become so concrete that we think we need something to change us. We need something physical to see, like you spoke about earlier, Mom. And so in this case, what can you do to change your subconscious mind? And in this case, the king went to a wizard. He gave him a mask that showed his same face without a scowl. It showed it with a smile, right? So it went from this to that, or a smile or something like that, right? So imagine just the way that he saw himself differently and how that impacted his proximity and the people around him. You can do this very same thing. Some people will have an issue and think that, no, I'm being fake. You know, people will not change. People would rather be real sad, right, than than to create happiness and joy within themselves. You have a choice. If you count all the things that you have to be angry about, if you counted them, you actually enumerated as many as you could, you would never surpass the amount of things that you have to be grateful for. Never. But many times we start counting the bad first. And so we get into an emotion, a negative emotion. We pick out all the things that are wrong in the room, all the spots on the carpet, not the fact that we have carpet under our feet that keeps us warm. And once you do that, whatever you focus on, where attention goes, energy flows. Right? So imagine if you switch that paradigm and just today, you're like, you know what? I'm going to count all of my blessings first. I'm going to count all the things that make me happy first. And I don't care how bad you have it. You will never be able to enumerate all the blessings and all the things that you have to be grateful for. You'll actually never get to the bad things. Right? If you're honest with yourself, you will never get to the bad things. And in doing so, why will you not ever get to the bad things? Because by the time you got to the third or fourth thing that you're grateful for, you have created an emotion within yourself. Like an alchemist, you have changed the state of your being into a state of gratitude. So before, when you get angry, just start naming things that you're grateful for. That person cut you off in the road. Instead of cussing them out, you say, Lord, I'm happy I got a car. I'm happy my brakes work. Because if my brakes didn't work, I would have slammed into that fool. You know what I mean? Instead of spending that energy to chase a devil, speed it up, getting up next to him, flip him in the bird and all this other stuff. You know, like I said before, when you chase devils, where do you think it leads to? Right to hell. Right? So be active in the creation. Be the co-creator of your experience. Be the nurturer of your nature. God has given you a nature, and this nature has the ability to create, to change, to grow, to build, right? Within and of yourself, both in the external world and within yourself. So you have that power. You don't need a wizard to create a mask, right? You might need meditation. You might need to sit back and convince yourself. And if you sit down to meditate, to contemplate, and I'm not talking about, you know, some new age stuff or whatever. I'm not saying that. And all new age stuff isn't bad. I'm saying sit down and contemplate and work on changing your state of being. Don't let your state of being be a reaction. Let it be an intention. Let it be intentional. And if you sit down for a while and you meditate and you contemplate on changing your subconscious mind, and you get up and you don't feel any different, sit down. Sit down again and go back, because you're not done yet. Right? And go back to it. It may even take a while. You may have to work on this, but don't give up on yourself, and don't be subdued by your feelings. Don't let your feelings control you. Let your feelings inform your decisions, right? But your feelings are just advisors, right? They aren't dictators. And what we have, many have allowed, I won't say we won't accept that, but what many have allowed is for their feelings to be dictators over their life. They live in an emotionally autocratic dimension where their emotions have already made the decisions for them, and their body is now their mind. Okay, so that's all that I have for us to remember, that your subconscious self, that your mind and your brain has the ability to change your reality, your personality, right? Everyone thinks that the personality they have is the one that they always will have. No, you can change this about yourself. Reimagine yourself in the way that you want to be, and you're the best version of yourself, right? And be competitive with yourself and be accountable to yourself for the change that you see, for the transformation. Mom, you did this. I've watched you do this. I've watched you transform over the years into a different person. all the things that I loved about you, you still got it. And the things that you may have needed to work on, only you know. We can all, anybody that knew you then and now can only guess and say whatever. But truth be told, we all wear a certain level of a mask. Sometimes it's you're probably going to wear a mask at some point in your life, if not much of your life, because there's things that we think all the time that we don't say. You can be right there talking to somebody and be like, "Ooh, they breath stink," and you ain't saying it. You know what I mean?
Let them
So
go spread that phone. Brandon,
yeah,
Brandon, if I
mhm.
may,
We got
so
to get out of here. I know you gotta
yeah,
go.
so I'm gonna end with this, you guys. So we think, and it's estimated, right? We think about 70,000 thoughts per day, give or take some, right? And it is estimated by National Science Foundation that 80%, and I've actually heard our guy Joe Dispenza talk a little bit about this as well. 80% of those thoughts are negative, and then 95% of those thoughts are repetitive. So you have repetitive negative thinking coming from your subconscious mind, right? And so that's why nothing's changing. As it says, the subconscious mind doesn't want anything new, doesn't expect anything new, not going to allow you to embrace anything new. And that's why I bring you here. Take every thought captive. 2 Corinthians, we demolish arguments and every pretension that sets itself up against
Mm,
the knowledge of God. Because the knowledge of God keeps you in your natural state, or at least pursuing your natural state, calling yourself out, getting you to that place where you can take this thought captive and measure it against whose you are, who created you, why you were created, right? And after we get through fussing and trying to determine what that is, like your grandma Earlene told me, Brandon, we're created. We were all, if you just want a simple but grand purpose for your life, to glorify the kingdom of God with your happy face.
mm,
This little joy of mine, they say a light of mine, put whatever, this little face of mine, I'm going to let it shine, right? This little attitude of mine, I'm going to let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Y'all remember your grandma used to sing that?
mhm,
Let your happy face shine. Let your love and your search and your seeking and your taking thoughts captive, being ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine. Today, tomorrow, right? Because truth be told, it's all about you. You. And I want to remind of this, and I'm done for real. I love this. Sow a thought, you reap an action. So keep in mind, you guys, your thoughts. Sow a thought, you reap an action. Sow an act, you reap habit. So habit, and you reach character. And character, you reach your destiny. Our destiny is tied directly and starts with what you think. What you think. And as this book says, if there's any power that can reverse the fortunes of race, it is character. Because see, then you don't determine what happens and if it's right or wrong based on the color of somebody's skin, their income, where they live, their size. You see them as your child, as your mother, as your brother, as your sister, right? As your grandchild. And so then when you start to see them as that, just like our man started to see the smile and the reaction from the people, then he became. So as you start to see it, then you start to see people in the way that you would want it to be for your family or someone you love. When you start to see that, then you start treating them differently. But guess who changed in this story? It wasn't the people. It was the king. It was the man himself. And that change changed things, but it started with him. All right, Brandon, let's get at it.
All right, y'all. Thank y'all so much for rocking with us each and every day on the In This Season podcast. What season are you in? As we, prepare for winter and experience fall, what does that change for you? This is the time where you can go in yourself, inside your subconscious mind, and clean house. This is your chance. So remember this as you go about your way today. Put a smile on somebody's face. Put a happy face on yourself. Right? And one of the ways that you can do this, as we'll get to it, is in our affirmation. It says, our title was Put on a Happy Face. And Desmond Tutu, the Archbishop out of South Africa, said that kindness is the language that the deaf can hear and the dumb can understand. And our affirmation for the day is, today I will multiply the emotion of kindness by dividing it. That gives us more contemplation. Contemplate that today. Today I will multiply the emotion of kindness by dividing it. Give out a little bit of kindness today. To yourself first. Be merciful with yourself. You owe it to yourself. You deserve to be happy. You deserve to see yourself in a positive light. Go out today, do that, put on a happy face, and we'll see you back here tomorrow. Go like and subscribe to the channel on YouTube, and we'll see you then. Peace.